This is Smithy.tv.
3, 2, 1. Hey, I'm Kenny Robinson. This is Breaking Down the News, folks. Thanks for putting up with me while we were off the air. I have a simple apology. I've been standing in line trying to get playoff tickets, but all the bandwagon jumpers were all in front of me. And here's a man whose bandwagon is always ready to be jumped upon, Mr. Clifton Joseph.
Yes. Kenny, I must confess, I'm not a big baseball fan. I'm a basketball, boxing kind of guy.
Right.
But of course, whenever your home team is winning, you got to jump up.
See, I'm having a harder time jumping up with this because my first love in this life is my Chicago Cubs. And we're down 2 games against those
Mixed
hideous
loyalties, they call
Oh,
it.
there's no mixed loyalties here. I may block all Blue Jay fans if the Cubs and the Jays get in. I may not have any more Blue Jay fans. I may have the emptiest Nubian show when I say, if you a Blue Jay fan, fuck you. I don't want your business.
Yeah.
You know?
Empty room, baby.
You know, well, I've had that. So, my Cubs have come before women, before country. I can't say before God because I prayed God for them to make them happen. But they haven't won anything. Everybody's going, this is the first time Canada's ever. The Cubs have not won a World Series since 1908. The last time they were in one, all the other teams' best players were shooting at Japanese guys in the Pacific.
So you, with that kind of track record, you're also an Argos and a Leafs fan then?
No, man.
You're just used to losing for years and years at a time.
Well, no, basically my sports team's all Chicago based.
Home team, though you're not
That's
there.
it. So in the Leafs, it's harder. It's easier not to like a team when they're not your team when they're losers. So, but I used to love the Jays back when before they got this damn mall they play in. Back when they played at the C&E, because I had that's when I first met you. I had this job working for Morgard Investments. I was a courier mailroom dude.
Yes, I remember when you in the mailroom. Yep.
And all those
trying to make it to the top. Baby.
That's it. I took the elevator and brought the mail up 3 times a day to the top. And
Moving on.
my bachelor apartment was higher up than the penthouse in the office. So. But none of the execs wanted to go to the Jays games in in April or May because it was too hard. It was too cold. So I got to see George Bell, who said when they booed him, "Kiss my purple ass." And I got to see Barfield with that great arm, and Shaker Mosby, and Cliff Johnson, who the Jays got because he got in a fight with the big relief pitcher in New York and broke his thumb. So the Yankees says, "Well, we'll send you to Canada since you like to break thumbs so much. You can play catch there when it's 15 below on the sidelines." So I came, I was one of the last people to ever be kicked out of a baseball game at C&E on Father's Day. So
what did you do?
I was just drunk watching the Angels and being what drunks do back in the day. I drank on the way there, drank on the way back. There was a kid that lived in over there in Regent Park that was selling the beer. So I said to him, "Well, look, man, I know that the way they figure out how much you owe them at the end of the night is by your cups. So why don't I just give you $2 and you just keep filling this cup up?" He made about $15.
Side gig.
And I got the boot around the sixth inning.
You both gained from that.
We gained. I taught him a new hustle.
Venture.
I taught him a new hustle, and police went, "Man, you have to leave." So I'm happy for Toronto sports fans.
Of course,
that
but
the
let me
Jays are
jump
here.
in and butt in there and tell you my Jay story in the beginning, because I used to work at that time when the Jays first came to town at the famous Underground Railroad restaurant down at 225 King at Sherborne.
That was the place.
And because one day, Kenny, I'd show up to work and there's Rod Stewart.
Okay.
The next day there's Lola Falana. Next day there's the entire cast of colored girls who considered suicide when the rainbow is enough. That's exactly Shanghai's play. Or Bill Cosby.
Because he was a partner in there.
Dig at the time, yeah. He was trying to get them to franchise it across North America, but they didn't.
My friend John Henry only serves Coca-Cola at his restaurant.
And John Henry named his son after him, Cosby, right? Yeah. So you show up one day and there's the entire Blue Jays team, baby.
All right.
Those cats used to hang out there, you know what I mean? Looking for stray stuff.
Looking for colored girls that sing the blues with suicide wasn't enough.
For colored girls who didn't consider suicide. Kenny, you was sharp like a Gillette and a Wilkins Damn. So yeah, so that's my first rubbing shoulders with the Jays as a busboy and then waiter at the On Go.
They would like slip you a little tip or slide you a little bit of money.
Big
or-
tippers at the time, man.
Yeah.
Great talkers.
Do you remember the guys?
No, just from the names at the times, but nobody stood out because it wasn't my gig. You know?
Yeah. You know, but see now the Jays. See now there's so things I hate about the Jays is that ballpark they play in, and I hate their
You mean
bandwagon
even with
fans.
there was a move on for them to open up the thing, the top.
Open the dome. Well, my opinion is I wanted the dome open so all those expensive ticket holders could be cold about the fourth inning when the sun went down.
Give it up.
It was like, shut up now. We win when we have it open. Yeah, well, you freeze when it's open too. Now let you leave before they come back in the seventh inning and win. You know. So I have such an intolerance for these people. But I hate that ballpark. I hate their fair weather fans.
Why? Because it's state of the art.
Well, they don't think it's state of the art now.
They sold it for cheap to
Well,
Rogers,
that
or
they
whoever?
sold it cheap for Rogers. Plus, it was always very sterile. I always called it baseball in a mall. Okay, because growing up part of my childhood in Chicago, I was lucky because I attended games at Kaminsky Park, which they torn down then. But there's the bleacher tickets were $1. I hated the White Sox, but I could go see a game for $1.
Yeah, for $1, why not?
So I was there. So I got to see the greats of the game play back then. For the drunks in the bleachers, they had this shower that you could pull the rope and you'd get showered.
What? Nice.
So on a hot day, the drunks are. And as I would grow up later on, there's Bill Veeck, the great Carney man. His father owned the Cubs at once upon a time, and he was like one of the great promoters. He set the midget up to pinch hit. He had the disco blow up record night promotion.
Stuff you want to go to the game to see.
Yeah, he
That's
was
not
always
necessarily
about.
the game.
He said, if you got a shitty team, give them some fun in between.
Of course.
So he put the showers out there. So as I said to White Sox fans, he's the man that introduced you people to bathing. They had a picnic section where it was ground level in the outfield, and there was a chicken fence across, so you could sit there, and it cost you $1 to go in there. It didn't cost you anything extra, and bring your own lunch.
You
And-
like ambience.
yeah,
I'm
and the
getting
ball
that
could be
from
hit against it, and you're there, and you smell the cowhide
Mm-hmm.
as the guy's picking it up, and you hear him swear, and
Mm-hmm.
So then you come here, and they got that pathetic okay, blue. How can you, that's not a fight song,
Dig.
So I just despise that,
But of course, though, you must despise that. But Kenny, with
team
all
is
of
tough.
I checked the papers, and as I say, I don't follow baseball, so I thought they had won the whole thing.
No, they
When
just
I
made it
saw
to the next round of
Blue
playoffs.
Blue Jays win, and up even in my neighborhood, at Eglinton and Oakwood, there in Toronto, you could see the paraphernalia, the baseball
Yes.
caps, the baseball jackets, that team has made a shitload of merchandising money in the last little while.
Well, they always have. They're people that been buying Blue Jay stuff always, But
So is that about this town? Because look, I know when there's a Leafs game.
Yep.
Because I get on the subway and you see all of the checkered
Painted
shirts and
faces.
things coming. The subway is crowded coming from north, and what this team makes money even though it doesn't win.
And now with Rogers owning all the networks that they put them on there, now with Rogers, everything Jays, so you can watch the game on your TV while they charge you for the data.
Yeah.
They got it all hooked
Money's
up.
got to be made.
But they're a great team. They made everything they had to do.
They
in
spent money. They
mid-season.
spent money to get the people they need.
There's no reason why the Blue Jays. I've said this once they made the acquisitions that they did. There's no reason why the Jays should not win it all.
Win it all.
My Cubs, we weren't even predicted to be in the playoffs this year. We were still in the building team because we got all these 20-year-olds that hit the shit out of the ball. So we weren't even supposed to be there. So when my son said we lost again, game 2, I had to say, boy, we ain't supposed to be there. We're just learning our boys are just learning how to play. This Jays team ain't got nothing from head to toe. They're a tough ball club. And one thing Canadians don't really have an appreciation for is swagger. We don't like anybody that struts their stuff. When, doesn't matter if it's a kid, Kane, that played for the Winnipeg Jets, that got traded to Buffalo because he was always doing bling-bling videos. We didn't like the way how Subban with Montreal Canadiens.
Don't get too big for your Bridges.
But you know what? But now everybody in this country, they love the way how Joey Bats, who hit 50 homers a season, a couple of times, when the game was on the line, he crushed that home run. And it wasn't even the World Series winner. It wasn't like, touch them all, Joe. It wasn't even, and with just the cockiness and swagger that he stood there and he threw his bat like a matador,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
That'll be the main thing, one of the main things remembered from this.
Oh, kids are going to get their asses beat by their Little League coaches next year for throwing their bats like that. It's a bad influence. I mean, baseball traditionists would say he deserves a fastball in the rib cage from every old school minded pitcher every time he comes up. Not a brushback, but boom. You know.
I felt that, man.
I like the way how finally Canadians, we've embraced something with swagger and say, yeah, we like that.
But hey, at the same time, though, I mean, I guess they must be feeling a bit invincible to come back from, what is it, 2-0-2?
Oh, well,
to
Texas
win the three in a row and move on to this phase.
Everybody counted him dead. I didn't count him dead because with that lineup, they're not gonna lay down and die. There's just too much thunder in it. There's just from top to bottom. There's too many guys that can step out any given day and carry the team.
But look, I'm a Raptors fan, man, and they've been quite disappointing the last 2 years.
Well, they made playoffs.
Well, you see, this is it with these teams from Toronto and by extension across the country.
Low
is that
standards.
They're low standards. They get your hopes up high, but ultimately, Kenny, they drop you hard. And is this what we've been set up for in terms of the fans of the Blue Jays in Toronto and across the country? Is there going to be that hard drop where they disappoint you at the end?
I hope so for the sake of true Blue Jays fans. Because you know what? Because the bandwagon jumpers will run like roaches when you turn on a light. And the true Jays fans will be saying, wait till next year. And the rats will abandon the ship. And and true fans will be able to get tickets again for the most part. And then next year when they win it, as like I said, there's no reason for them not to win it.
Yeah, because sometimes you have to get there to know how you can get there, and then finally get there next time around.
Well, that's what I'm saying about my Cubs, But you know what it is? I guess I do like the Jays. I hate the rats and the roaches that gather around them. I only want the boat to spring.
Folks,
I only want the boat to spring a leak so I can see the rats run when it gets wet. I only want the lights to go on at the dome and off, and then turn them back on and see the roaches.
You got to be charitable, my man, to those who jump on the bandwagon. They give you that extra crowd, that extra talk, that extra money, that extra
they ain't there in the
support.
Are you charitable when you two go in the kitchen and see a cockroach on your butter? No, you ain't charitable. You don't even keep the piece of butter that he was on. So, no, I'm not charitable, no bandwagon jumpers.
So what do you think will happen ultimately then? I mean, where they're at now and what chance do they got?
I think the Jays are going to come back and they're going to beat Kansas City. Plus, I like the fact Kansas City's playing the Jays because they got bad blood. Once or twice this year, the bench is emptied with them. And the Jays had the benches were emptying quite a bit in the Texas series. So if you don't already like somebody and you're playing them for all the marbles, that's going to be good. I mean, Kansas City's a good, tough ball club. The problem with Toronto fans is they don't think any other teams are good. I think my Cubs are going to lose to the Mets, hopefully not 3 in a row. I hope we at least maybe take it some so the boys got some dignity and we get rid of those Cub bandwagon jumpers. But and I think the Jays, if the Jays meet the Mets, I'm going Jays all the way.
Well, look,
if it's the Cubs and the Jays, I hope the Cubs slaughter them 4 straight. Because if my team don't win 4 straight, they lose in 7. So they have to be vicious, and I'd like to see little Blue Jay children cry.
I was listening to a podcast on a not-to-be-named station in the States, and dude was saying that the NFL game had more people watching it than the World Series.
Yeah.
So, and saying that, look, maybe for Americans, possibly for Canadians too, that they love their football, they love their basketball, and in the case of Canada, they love their hockey. And when nothing is happening in those 3, then they'll go to baseball.
That's true. Bandwagon jumpers. But, America with the NFL, they say baseball is America's pastime. NFL is. Because you can gamble all you like on the NFL. The NFL football is it's a replacement for war. And so they like that. Plus, they start them young in high school, and then at the college level, they get more at a college level than a CFL team could ever dream of getting here. If you go down to University of Pennsylvania or any of these old Miss or LSU or any of those places, 50, 60, 75,000 fans for guys that ain't even getting paid. They're getting scholarship, and their job is to turn on the sprinkler light, so they got pocket money. So, anyway, we have to go.
We done already?
Yeah, because it's close to first pitch time.
Oh, okay.
For you Jays fans, they're playing at the Dome, and first pitch is at 4:07. So if you're watching us live on what is it called when we're going live? Live stream.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're live streaming us, you still got time to go outside and see if you can get a
Are we
ticket from the
live
scalper.
too?
Yeah, we do some of this live stream
Oh,
too.
wow. Hey, what's up, y'all? Call me.
What's the number?
555-954-4459.
And for out of province callers, just put your
Toll free.
just put your finger in
Dog
your ear
free.
and dial the same number.
Send me a smoke signal.
Anyway, folks, like playoff baseball in Toronto and Chicago, it's good to be back. Kenny Robinson here at Smitty TV. This is Breaking Down the News. This is Clifton Joseph. You can check him out on www.eglinton TV live.
Sometimes live, yes.
Sometimes live. Anyway, go Jays, and let's do it today in Wrigley. Check you later.